Apple has dropped some major news on software updates, new things coming to Vision Pro, and even more. Stick around for the rest of the video to find out what's coming out. Hey guys, my name is Jay and I'm the host of this channel, and today you're watching Apple Weekly News episode 2. This is the second week of me doing it and I can't wait to continue on with doing this. Let's not waste any time, let's get straight with the rest of this video. Kicking off the news, Apple is hosting their first quarter 2025 earnings call on the 30th of January 2025. This will be hosting at 2 p.m. Pacific, and this will be calling it the CEO, Tim Cook, and also the brand new CFO. So this will obviously show you Apple's performance from the holiday quarter, which spans between October to December. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, as I said before, it will be hosting at 2 p.m. Pacific on the 30th of January 2025. Now moving on to some updates that has happened recently. So we've got iPadOS and iOS 18.2.1, and then we've also got the rest of them, which is just betas, which is watchOS, iOS, macOS, iPadOS, and tvOS, all the way up to 18.3 beta 2, which you could download via the development update page. Also, you also have the Vision OS 2.3 beta 2 update available there as well. Now moving on to something that has started to come out and started to roll out into different states, which is, if you don't know, US states and residents from them states could have their driver's license or their state ID on their wallet app on their iPhone or Apple Watch to kind of like show proof of identity, age, or whatever it could be, or even in selected apps. And Apple has had more states adapt these sort of features and bring it over to their states. These are the states that are shown on the left hand side, what will be available for you to kind of like use that sort of feature. Also, the Apple Wallet app can also allow you to go through TSA checkpoints as well, again within these selected US airports. And also, Apple does state that you should refer to TSA's checkpoint signage to confirm availability for this feature to work, and also TSA's website in general, just for even more features and whatever there is for that, as well as safety reasons and a whole bunch of other things. Now, you probably have used the Apple News app. Well, Apple is deciding to bring this out to more countries and expand where it is, not just only keeping it inside of US, Canada, the UK, and Australia. This is obviously according to Financial Times. Now, the plan is reportedly to start covering more local things, like, for example, the UK, bringing out more puzzles to different countries and things like that, which is also limited to the US and Canada only at this present moment. Now, if you don't know about Apple News and Apple News Plus, let me give you a quick explanation. It is their free and subscription-based service, which allows for news to come in every single day, to be honest, every single minute. Brand new news comes inside the app. And if you have the subscription one, as well as sometimes in the free one, you can get it as well. It comes with a whole host of magazines, stories, newspapers, games, podcasts, and newsletters. And obviously the free service works through advertisement, and the paid one just works by you paying $12.99 a month for you to get just additional features. Now, Apple is expanding this to kind of like work alongside Apple's effect of improving its advertisement efficiency and bits and bobs like that. This is also aiming to grow Apple's ecosystem and also to grow its economy as well. So it works alongside their financial state as well as just giving it out to more people that actually want it. Now, today we come with some sad news. The Apple Watch Series 4 is now in the graveyard. No, I'm actually being honest now. It's really gone. So a new year starts, and yes, Apple couldn't wait any longer to put this inside of the vintage product page. Apple has also put the last Intel Mac that the company launched inside that vintage product as well, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Now, if you don't know which ones are included in the vintage products, it's all of them. This includes the aluminum and stainless steel versions of the 40mm and the 44mm versions of the watch. Now, the watch was announced September 2018, and it marked technically Apple's first big redesign of the Apple Watch, with a larger display, thinner bezels, and also rounded corners. That was not the only thing that went inside of the vintage products, as I said. We also saw the 2019 15-inch MacBook Pro be listed as a vintage product as well. Now, what's interesting is that The 2019 MacBook Pro still has the latest version of macOS right now, but the Apple Watch Series 4 still only has watchOS 10, which was its last update that it could receive. Nevertheless, that was the last MacBook to actually have full support for macOS. And also it was the last Intel-based MacBook to ever come out from Apple. Now, Apple has had its own concerns with safety issues alongside of people stalking AirTags and stalking you and things like that. Well, Apple has had another complaint filed and a warning filed about them hitting a violation with batteries. This has come from the US Consumer Product Safety Commissions, also known as CPSC. This was issued in a press release sometime along the week, which outlines Apple AirTags violation and that they need to fix it quite immediately. Now, this was obviously coming from Mac rumors that they did do it effectively, and also CPSC notified Apple as well about the warning labels that they need to start adding it in certain places. Apple has responded to that and put a warning label in as much places as they possibly can, adding it inside of the box, on the unit itself, and there is also a nice little feature inside of iOS 18.2, which kind of like gives these features alongside of it. Now, if you don't know what they needed to actually do, they needed to add some sort of label with the lines of to protect children from life-threatening issues and situations from using or touching the battery cells. Now, Apple is widely rumored to be bringing out an iPhone 17 Air, and yes, it probably is still coming. Speculating from a South Korean journalist, Apple is making the iPhone 17 Air around about 6.25 millimeters thick. If that measurement is right, then that means that it's around about 20% thinner than the current iPhone 16 and 16 Plus models, and also be around about 25% thinner than the iPhone 16 Pro models. Now, if you're wondering about the pricing of this, current speculations for this pricing will be around about $8.99 in US dollars, which works out for the pricing of their iPhone 16 Plus. Now, before we move on to the specs, I would like to say that Samsung is making their own version of this as well, which is supposed to be called the Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim. Now, we've also got a little bit of some conflicting news between what we're supposed to be seeing with specs, but I'll tell you what I've got so far. So far, it will be coming with a 6.6-inch display, and also it will have the standard A19 chip in it, which will probably be coming out on the iPhone 17 as well, with also a dynamic island, a single rear camera, which seems to have probably around about a 48 megapixel camera as well, and also has Apple's designed 5G modem chip, which is supposed to be speculated to come out in more of their products. The device is also expected to be equipped with 8 GB of RAM for Apple Intelligence support. So overall, the main things to just keep in mind is that it will be the exact same performance as the iPhone 17, and also it will be way more thinner than all the other phones coming out in this product lineup. Now again, this is speculated to come out in September, and there's no chance of you even seeing this way more earlier, but what you can see earlier is the iPhone SE 4th generation and the iPad 11-inch. Earlier this week, we got some news from a leaker that the iPhone SE and the iPad 11-inch would be launching and will be releasing roughly the same time as iPadOS and iOS 18.3, or even holding back those two updates until the product gets released. Well, Mark Gurman has reported again and said very quickly that the iPhone SE replacement and the new iPads are being developed on the iOS 18.3 train, but that doesn't mean that the software updates and the device will be launched simultaneously. Instead, Gurman said that Apple is aiming to release the products by April at some point before iOS 18.4 is released. So this does clear up some issues, just in case you're wondering from that leaker what was going on. Yeah, that's not happening anymore. And the last piece of news today is from Apple Vision Pro. As I said before, go ahead and go and try it. But if you actually do have a Apple Vision Pro on you, you might want to try NVIDIA's new GeForce Now that has now been launched on Apple Vision Pro. Now, this is not a brand new thing. You probably have heard about this before, but if you haven't, let me give you a quick rundown of what GeForce Now is. GeForce Now is NVIDIA's sort of cloud-based service that allows you to play your own games that you've purchased, so for example from Steam, or use an Xbox Game Pass or any sort of other gaming platform that you have. And it allows you to play it from a remote place. It gives you powerful PCs for you to play the games at either high or ultra settings, and also have barely any lag from as I've experienced. Now, this is a way more better way of playing your games if you don't have the money, meaning if you own a Vision Pro, then you probably have the money to buy a gaming PC, but it allows you to play these sort of games that you have with using cloud-based service. This does work pretty well when you're away on holiday or something like that and you're not nearby your PC. And that is it for today's video. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you in next week's weekly news. Obviously, this will not happen what has happened this week, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, as always, this has been your boy Jay, and I'll see you guys in another JayTech video. Peace.